Hi! So today we're doing the long-awaited Lady Bedazzled Hannah Iceberg. We have homophobia, racism, transphobia, we have divorce, we have bald men. We have a lot of shit on our plate with this. Anyways, let's get into the iceberg. I am going to be looking over here because my notes are over here, and I'm not really used to looking in a camera, so I'm sorry about that. But let's get started. Our first entry is put a blank down if. So, you know those videos on TikTok that are like, put a finger down if you fart? Hannah has her own version. Sometimes it's lotion bottles, sometimes it's vitamin bottles, sometimes it's just shit from her pantry, and she'll say, put a lotion down, random edition. She also has like homeschooled version. I think she has a political version. She also did ones about her pregnancy too. She has a whole playlist on her TikTok account about it. It's a really fun game to play too. Our next entry is cultural appropriation. If anyone ever asked me what cultural appropriation is, I would just send them to Hannah's TikTok account.
Happy Thanksgiving week from Sacagawea and Setting Sun. I hope you guys have an amazing and blessed holiday, and remember the first Thanksgiving where the Pilgrims and the Native Americans got along in joyous harmony. Thank you.
She also got famous on TikTok originally for cosplaying as Pocahontas. She's definitely eccentric. Our next entry is homeschool education. I believe this refers to Hannah being homeschooled herself. Her mom was both her teacher and her holistic doctor. I believe Hannah doesn't plan on sending her children to any institution either. She plans on also homeschooling her children.
What if my child wants to go to public school? We'll find alternative things, like there'll be homeschool groups, like they'll have friends. My child's gonna have friends. I don't think they're gonna want to go to public school. I know stuff about the public school system, and I cannot in good conscience let my kid go. They're not gonna want to go to public school. The public school system is hella messed up. I do not like it one bit. Yes, I was homeschooled, and I'm gonna homeschool my kid. And it's gonna be great. It's gonna be difficult, but it's gonna be great. Yes, baby Lester said, like, Mommy, can you please homeschool me? It's gonna be the best experience ever. Yes, of course, honey. It's gonna be perfect. We're gonna have so much fun. We're gonna learn so much. Love you, bye. Love you too, bye. We just had the conversation. We just did. I'm teasing. It does want to be homeschooled. It does.
Native American obsession. So Hannah got famous for dressing up like a Native American woman. She has figurines of Native American people displayed in her room. She has trinkets of like teepees, and she has a whole playlist on TikTok that's like Native American culture. A lot of it is like her dressed up dancing like a Native American. She's got an affinity for Native American culture. DNA results. Hannah has publicly posted her DNA results. She's just a white person, and this was crazy because she claimed that one of her grandparents was Native American. And when this first came out, she was basically like, well, there are some things that don't show up on these ancestry results.
Check out my ethnic background. Don't forget some things don't show up in the test results.
Up until very recently, where someone actually found her grandfather's obituary, and he is in fact not Native American.
Some of you have actually tagged me in some videos, of which I'm very grateful for, so thank you. You were able to find the obituary for my deceased great-great-grandfather, Irvin Stahl. Yes, it would seem that he's not Native American after all. Like, I think it says that he's German, right?
ASMR videos. A few years ago, Hannah started getting into ASMR. She has a bunch on her TikTok account. And she has a whole YouTube channel dedicated to it. I would say go check it out. It's quite entertaining, I will say. Okay, we're on to the second tier of the Lady Bedazzled Hannah Iceberg. AI trend. So Hannah partook in the TikTok live AI trend. Originally, I think she was dressing up as Barbie, and then somewhere along the way it became really racist.
Welcome to an AI German lady character livestream. Welcome to an AI British nurse lady livestream. Welcome to an AI Irish lady character livestream. Welcome to an AI Hispanic woman character livestream. Welcome to an AI Asian lady character livestream. Welcome to an AI African lady character livestream. Thank you so much for the peanut butter. George Washington Carver made over 300 inventions with the peanuts.
Editing this, I have to fucking say something. What the fuck? What the fuck? Like, you could have gotten away with being like, oh, it's a South African woman, but I know Hannah's too fucking stupid to know that. And then she brings in the whole, like, George Washington Carver thing, and I'm like, oh, so just black people then. Okay. What the fuck? How do I stop recording? Shopping addiction. It's believed that Hannah does have a shopping addiction. She has like a haul playlist on her TikTok account. She does Walmart, Walgreens, Dollar Tree. I think she's done Target and Hobby Lobby too. If you look in her bedroom, because she has her own bedroom, she just has a bunch of shit. I don't think it's really a stretch to say that she might have a shopping addiction. Homophobia/transphobia. Hannah's pretty open about this. She doesn't believe that trans or gay people should be able to adopt children. She gets extremely political on her Instagram and Twitter, and you just have to scroll a little bit.
These are not pride lights. What's the word I want to use? No, you're very confused. You are very misguided. These are, if anything, they're God's colors. Colors of God's rainbow. Then all these leftist Democrats, I'm like, everything just seems sexualized to them. Everything is about sex. Literally everything. Everything is about sex. I'm like, what? Yes, God's rainbow lights are so beautiful. Well, everyone says that they're rainbow. I'm like, they're God's rainbow lights, yes. They're not homosexual lights. We Republicans do not sexualize everything like you Democrats do. Someone has to say it.
Domestic violence advocacy. So in Hannah's TikTok bio, it says she's a domestic violence advocate. And she also has an armband tattoo of the domestic violence ribbon. Hannah claims to be a victim of this herself by her first husband.
With today being the last day of October and Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I would like to share some important things with you. First of all, I would like to share a personal opinion. It would seem that society loves to overly focus on breast cancer awareness when it gives hardly any energy at all to domestic violence awareness. You can literally buy so many items out there with that pink ribbon, but there's only a select, slim to none that you can get for domestic violence awareness. We really need to change this. I am a survivor of narcissistic abuse, and I am so grateful that I got out before the threats from my first husband would have been my reality. I got this domestic violence awareness tattoo in honor of my own story and to honor other victims and survivors as well. It says, "Love shouldn't hurt," with the purple ribbons.
Irish accent/St. Patty's Day videos. Every year on St. Patty's Day, Hannah dresses up in like a green wig and like full like garb. She'll do Irish dancing. She puts on an accent.
Happy St. Patrick's Day! What are you all doing on this very fine and sunshine day?
It's like an event. It's beautiful, honestly. Our next entry is r/bedazzled snark. This is the subreddit that is dedicated to Hannah. We're moving on to tier 3. So we have the water bottle pregnancy reveal. Basically, there was this photo Hannah posted on her TikTok where it was 3 like regular water bottles that each represented her husband, and her stepdaughter. And then there was a final water bottle, a baby bottle. And that was Hannah's pregnancy reveal. Okay, sorry, I'm back. The next entry on the iceberg is Hannah's debt. So I didn't know when I was originally recording this that it was so contested. Like, it's a kind of a convoluted story. So I'm going to try and explain it to you now that I've had time to actually look over it, and I think I know the real story. Here's Hannah's debt story. When Hannah got with her first husband, she accrued $5,000 worth of debt. And then, when they separated, she accrued another $5,000.
Almost 4 years ago now, I started out with $5,000 of credit card debts from my ex-marriage. And then I racked up another $5,000 when I first started over living on my own.
So in May of 2020, she claims to have become debt-free.
I'm here to tell you that the journey of a 4-year plan today on February 6, 2020 is complete.
Which is interesting because in, I want to say it was like February of 2023, she's like, I've officially been debt-free for 2 years.
I used to have 9 credit cards at a time. Am I crazy or what? Yes. Now I only have 2, and I never go in debt with them, and it'll be 2 years come March. St. Patrick's Day to be specific.
So she said that in 2023, and it was 2 years ago. It would have been 2021 when she would have been debt-free, not 2020 when she originally said it. But two things can be true at the same time. So the widely believed theory is that Hannah paid off the original $10,000 from her first marriage by herself. And then somewhere along the way, she accrued more debt, which her husband has since paid off for her. There was a post where she thanked Donovan for graciously paying off her debt. It's hard to get the real story out of her. She dodges it quite a bit.
In 2020, I paid off $10,000 of debts. I incurred from my first marriage and then added on when I got my life all back together after my divorce from my first husband, right? So that was all I did myself, my money. People just think they're like, oh, Donovan paid off your debts. I'm like, no, he didn't. My husband pays my bills now, because I'm staying at home, but there was a time that I was paying my bills even when I lived here in Mississippi. The only time that Donovan has ever, when I've said something like, help me out, or he wonderfully, graciously did something for me, is when he actually paid a ticket of mine, a speeding ticket that I should have paid. But because he loved me so much, he paid it for me. That's the only thing. But I have paid every debt of a credit card I've ever owned. And I have been credit card debt free for 2 years come St. Patrick's Day. So, and you guys probably still won't ever get those, will never remember, and won't get it right.
But that is what I believe to be the real story. Piecing all the pieces together, I think that's what makes the most sense here. Our next entry is lazy cart syndrome. This is a term Hannah has claimed, and it basically describes when someone doesn't put the carts back into their designated area at a grocery store parking lot.
Do I have a story for you? But first of all, what is lazy cart syndrome? Lazy cart syndrome is when people choose to be lazy instead of diligent and leave their shopping carts strewn all over the parking lots from here to Kingdom Come, where vehicles are supposed to park, where vehicles are supposed to drive, and in the handicapped areas.
She thinks these people are the worst. And I'm kind of inclined to be on Hannah's side on this one thing. Let's just say she has priorities.
Do not be overcome by lazy cart syndrome, but overcome lazy bone-sitis with diligence.
You guys, why do you think I am so passionate about ending lazy cart syndrome? It is scenarios like this amongst the others. People with lazy bone-sitis really need to get with the times, and the energy that you have for people who litter, use it for this cause.
Our next entry is Donovan. So Donovan is Hannah's bald husband. Hey, so while I was recording, I was actually unable to find a segment that I could squeeze in all of these incredibly racist, homophobic, transphobic tweets of Donovan's. This is not a joke. He unironically believes this, and he's maybe worse than Hannah. He's an extremely hateful person, which is probably why he looks like that. Anyways, enjoy. Anti-vax. Hannah is pretty openly anti-vax. Her family was raised in, like, holistic medicine, and she has also claimed that she is not going to be vaccinating her child. Anti-Semitism. Hannah isn't outwardly anti-Semitic like she is on most things. She did one time compare abortion to the Holocaust, saying that it was worse because babies couldn't defend themselves. And then when Kanye was going on his anti-Semitic tirades against Jewish people, she was like, yes, I love and support Kanye.
Thoughts on Kanye? I really admire Kanye. And there's this 3-hour, it's a podcast with Alex Jones, Kanye West, and Nick Fuentes. My husband listened to it all and he really, really loved it. And that's all everyone's talking about is Kanye West. I'm like, well, hey, I mean, he's a celebrity, and now he's a Christian, and he's very pro-life. What do you say about the Jewish people? I'm like, no, he loves his enemies. He loves everybody. God tells us to love our enemies and to love everyone. He does not hate the Jewish people. There might be some mean Jewish people, and like with the evil dictator, Hitler, he said that, like, he loves him, but that's meaning because God says to love your enemies and to pray for them.
Doll collection. She has a Native American doll collection that she displays in her bedroom. And she also has, like, a figurine collection of, like, I want to say it's like a black family or community. And sometimes when she gets called out for being racist towards black people, she will line them up and, like, make them a part of the video.
Let's take some time to address this comment, shall we? I've never seen a person get so excited at any chance to attack black people, bruh.
Okay, now we're on to tier 4. We have the expensive Hobby Lobby license plate sign. So there's this huge sign in her living room, I'm assuming, and it says, Donovan and Hannah, thanks to TikTok. It's all spelled out by these little letter strips of license plate that can be found at Hobby Lobby. Hey, so I fucked up the re-recording, so now I'm re-recording over that. Wow, this is getting really meta. So as you can see, these little, like, sliver letter things, they are $2.79 normally at Hobby Lobby. So then what I'm going to show you in just a second is that there are 30 words in this phrase for this sign, right? Okay, open up Google Docs. Let's see it. Okay, 30 characters without spaces. So then this is me doing the math. 279 times 30. We have $83.70. That is the final number on this sign. Her white supremacist views. Hannah believes in the preservation of the white race. She believes in white pride. She has a famous video of her explaining what white culture is.
On today's edition with Lady Bedazzled Hannah, I will be answering your question, what is white culture? The wording of white culture is a broad term that I use that umbrellas the many diversities within us white skin-toned people. And I think the same can be said of other ethnicities, because with brown culture, red culture, yellow culture, black culture, as well as white culture, we need a foundation that builds into all that we really are on every level. It can get really complicated because we get into all the factors of nationalities, countries, ethnicities, cultures, and races, but not one person is just one background. So this is where it's really interesting and fascinating. So to me, white culture is industrialism, cultivation, intelligence, cleanliness, order, generosity, and so much more.
So our next entry is Donovan's YouTube edits. So before Hannah's husband Donovan was her husband, he was a fan of her. And to get her attention, he would make fan edits of her on both YouTube and on TikTok.
Think about stories.
So our next entry is husband's separate bedroom. There was a Q&A on the subreddit of Donovan's sister kind of explaining a few things. I'd like to read a quote of hers. She, being Hannah, said, "It's because he snores," and she's also said, because she wants her own space since she's never been able to live alone. Gives her a false sense of being independent, I guess. Plus, all of her hoarded shit probably wouldn't fit into his room. I'm sure it's also because he needs to sleep, being that he works morning to evening to support her draining ass. And she's up all hours of the night playing dolls and dressing up to make ignorant TikToks. I'd be snoring too, living with her. Enjoy the fuck out of that peaceful moment. Our next entry is trying to kick her 16-year-old daughter out. So when Hannah first moved in with her husband, she suggested that he kick his 16-year-old daughter out.
People are talking about, like, Hannah tried to kick Mackenzie out. I'm like, guys, let me explain, okay? Please let me explain about my stepdaughter. That's been everywhere, people talking about you were gonna kick your stepdaughter. I'm like, hold on. Let's talk about things in a mature, adult, understandable way. You know, let's speak facts. Like, you can take whoever side you want to, because, you know, you get to do that. So, this is true. There was a time last year where I was talking to Mackenzie and my husband. We were all talking about this together. It was my idea. I was the one who brought it up. I was like, talking to my stepdaughter, like, hey, like, you know, maybe it would be like this really cool thing and fun thing if you were to get your own place. We'll help you get a place, you know, some cute little apartment, some house that's not that far away from us, you know, so we can still hang out with each other and see each other. And like, you can have your own place, we can have our place, which, because, you know, there's been a lot of adjustments for Mackenzie, for myself, for Donovan, my husband. And I had the best intentions and motives. And so I look back now and I'm like, yeah, that wasn't fair of me and that wasn't right of me. And I hurt her. I didn't mean to, but I did. And I've apologized for that. Because I was like, well, see, I never got to live on my own.
Birthday photo shoot at the mall. For Hannah's 30th birthday, her now husband gifted her a ball gown and a photo shoot at the mall. Now, I don't know if the place was at the mall, but there are only photos of her, like, existing inside the mall in this fucking ball gown.
This is my little brother George. This is Mommy Pig.
We're now to tier 5. Dream job of being a cashier at Walmart. One time, Hannah made an Instagram post about working at Walmart, and at the end of the post, she talked about how cashiering was her dream, and Walmart just wouldn't allow that. Hannah Cardboard Cutout. This was a mini-series on a, like, fan account of Hannah, where someone made, like, a homemade cardboard cutout of Hannah, and then she put it in the shower, and she was, like, sticking, like, her feet on it, and then she threw it away. Practicing birthing noises. So Hannah made an Instagram post on January 31st of 2023 about practicing her birthing noises. It reads, when you start practicing your labor vocal sounds in the kitchen while making dinner and the cat starts looking and acting worried, lol. I don't want my husband to also have to bear these awful low groans, lol. But I'm sure I'll be less embarrassed when it's time to work through the pains of childbirth. I'm glad I learned from the best, my amazing mama who gave birth to 9 wonderful children. Amazing post, Hannah. Bath & Body Works Reddit post. So from what I can tell, this was like a elaborate like troll / rumor. There was a poster that was made and put up on the Reddit about how Hannah was banned from Bath & Body Works cotton candy vape. On January 7th of 2022, Hannah bought her first vape and made an Instagram post about it. She also made a very iconic TikTok about it too.
You guys, today was such a fantastically fabulous day in my life. Such a moment, such a chapter, like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe this happened. Okay, so I got something today that I have been waiting for far too long to add to my life, to spice it up and to make it more exciting and fun. This is something you can do when the weather is really cold outside and you get to see it in the atmosphere. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, you can see your breath, and it's like the fake deal. And then my first ex-husband's mom actually owned one of these and I got to try it once. But I actually own this thing now, you guys. I am 31. It is like, it's time. But I'm not gonna get addicted to it. I'm gonna use it in moderation. So without any further ado, it's a cotton candy disposable vaping device. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to learn all about it and do all these cool like puffy things. Like, you guys, it is so exciting.
So our next entry is Hannah thinking white people are minority. I think this just refers to a tweet where Hannah just directly says that. So we're now on tier 6. Explanations are going to get way longer, and I'm going to start having to read more and more from my notes. Donovan's troll accounts. This refers to how Donovan used to run a bunch of troll accounts. He's deleted a lot of them, and the only archive of this is the videos of Native American women responding to his comments. UTI/P video. This is another piece of lost media. Basically, Hannah had 4 UTIs, and eventually people convinced her to go to the doctor. And when she did, she showed her UTI-P, Temple of the Setting Sun. This is Donovan's YouTube channel where he used to post edits of Hannah. So beef with the sister-in-law. Some of Donovan's family were extremely upset about some of the stuff Hannah's posted on Instagram, and they're also upset that Hannah tried to kick out Donovan's 16-year-old daughter. The most vocal of all these people are Donovan's sister, and she's done a Q&A through the subreddit. When asked about the beef between her and Hannah, she responds, "So I told her very detailed how manipulative and insane she was and how shitty she treats my niece, and encourages him to do the same. How everything she does is for TikTok fame, nothing is genuine, how she uses my brother and drains anything she can out of him. Although he won't admit it, I did try to like her at first, but I quickly found out how manipulative and narcissistic she is. Of course she claims I just never got to know her. Not that I have to. She's an open book on social media." Our next entry is Pollyanna. Pollyanna is what Hannah wants to name her daughter.
If it's a girl, I want to name her Pollyanna Grace. If you have not watched the movie Pollyanna, I forget what year it was created, but it has Haley Mills. It's a 10 out of 10, and I usually cry every time, and I still watch to this day. I watched it a million times, and I still will, but I'm naming her after Pollyanna, the movie.
And anytime she sees a little girl doing anything cool or being cute or whatever, she'll repost it and be like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be Pollyanna when and if I have her." So our next entry is the Pinterest account. So Hannah's Pinterest is a whole rabbit hole in and of itself. It contains quite a bit of Wattpad-esque posts. She has a board called Pink Wedding in collaboration with another woman. It's filled with a lot of images relating to gay marriage. She has boards called God Creation, Politics and Patriotism, My Kind of Pants, and The Depths of Life. Take time to ponder it. Live life to the fullest. Be understanding and compassionate. And search your heart. She also has a board named Married Life, and in it, there are just a lot of pictures of women in bikinis. Our last entry in this tier is working for a religious pregnancy center. So in 2012, Hannah started working at a pregnancy center. I'm pretty sure this was a CPC, or a crisis pregnancy center, which are clinics that are made to look like real healthcare centers, but are ran by anti-abortion activists who push their agenda and shame or scare women out of getting abortions. And these are not legitimate medical clinics and purposely spread misinformation and propaganda. Hey, so everything from here on out is a theory and only a theory. There is going to be hardly any evidence to prove any of these things. I just want to let you all know because I do not want to be accused of spreading misinformation. Okay, goodbye. Now we're on to tier 7, family belonging to a cult. It's been speculated that Hannah's family has followed or aligned with local religious cults. She grew up only watching approved VHS movies, no music other than religious music, and she had 8 siblings and her mother was a holistic doctor. A lot of people speculate that her family loosely followed IBLP, which is the Institute in Basic Life Principles, which is a non-denominational Christian fundamentalist group and has been described as a cult because of its authoritarian control, isolation of its members, and blind loyalty. Just think of the Duggars, and that's what the IBLP is. We have her previous marriage divorce records and theories on her abusing her ex-husband. So, Hannah's ex-husband was the one who originally filed the divorce decree, which states the defendant, Hannah, treated the plaintiff, ex-husband, with such general indignities as to render his condition in life intolerable. This has led to theories that rather than being abused, Hannah was the abuser. And she also admitted to creating fake accounts in order to try and reach her ex-husband. Our next entry is how she and Donovan got together. So here's how the story goes. Donovan was a super fan and made edits of Hannah on both YouTube and TikTok. He was also commenting on her posts publicly while they were also speaking together privately. He asked Hannah to be his girlfriend over social media, and she says yes. She then goes to visit him for a week where she meets his family and stays with his family. While doing this, apparently, she went over to his house and they put a pillow between them so they didn't premaritally touch. When it was time for her to go home, they both went just to go get her stuff, and she moved in. Our last entry on this tier is about her estranged family. So users of the Reddit have reached out to some of Hannah's siblings, and they have all responded in similar ways. They denounced the hate that both she and Donovan spread online. One of her siblings said, quote, "Her first husband was an unhinged racist lunatic, and after being involved in that fiasco, I distanced myself from her because I do not have the mental bandwidth or physical time to keep up with her tomfoolery a second time round." So now we're at tier 8. This is the final tier. We have getting kicked out of her brother's house for going on a date with a married man. Hannah claims this was not a real date, but in 2015, at the age of 24, Hannah goes on a date with a married man while in her work uniform.
My first husband, we were talking at the time previous to when I met this other guy. They both have the same names, by the way. I told, because we weren't even dating yet, my first husband at the time, I told him we needed to take a break from talking. And I think it was because I was figuring out, do I like this other guy better or do I like him better? I know, 24 is grown, thank you. I'm a grown A woman, let me be. So this guy and I, we meet up. My sister-in-law found out, actually, because we invited him to church, and she wanted to, find out stuff about him, which I should have been doing that already, and I made the mistake of not asking, because he's like, "Hey, are you single?" I'm like, "Yes." My mistake was, "Are you single?" Because he was not. He said he was going through a divorce, or trying to get a divorce. He wanted to meet up with me and talk about it in person. I didn't consider it a date, because if the guy picks you up, if you change your clothes to look all cute and sexy and pretty and attractive, and you smell nice and you do your makeup, and he buys you dinner or something, it's a date. I met up with him. We had our separate vehicles, his and mine. We were gonna meet up at Starbucks, but they were closed, so we met at Walmart. Now, he did buy me a Sprite. I was kind of upset. I was raised gentlemen are supposed to buy stuff for you, so I let him buy me a Sprite. It wasn't even that great. My phone was blowing up at the time. Everyone was calling me like, "Hannah, what would Jesus do? You need to come home." And I'm like, I was mad. I don't know if I've ever been so mad in my life. When I got home, my brother and sister-in-law were like, "You have two options. You are no longer welcome in our home. We will help you move back into our parents' house, or you have to get your own place in 2 weeks."
Now we have the theory that Donovan belongs to the KKK. So the only evidence I have about this theory is that Donovan is born and raised in southern Mississippi, and he lives there now with Hannah. The modern KKK is extremely active in this part of Mississippi. And so I'm assuming that mixed with his ridiculously racist and bigoted views. Okay, so for the final entry, I cannot find anything for the life of this. And this is Hannah having NPD. This is narcissistic personality disorder. So when Hannah and her ex-husband separated, she was posting on a NPD Facebook group, survivors of spouses with NPD. And so what I'm assuming this refers to is Hannah projecting her narcissism onto her ex-husband. But other than that, I cannot find anything. So anyways, that was the Iceberg. This is my first time ever filming a YouTube video. This is the first time I've ever been engrossed in something that I've wanted to make a YouTube video about it. I guess I'm now #1 Hannah hater. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much for listening. How do I stop this?